A new promotion is set to arrive. My name is Zango. I'm bringing you all the latest in pro wrestling, of course, giving you my 2 cents on all the biggest stories. Today's video is very interesting. Jonathan Gresham is launching a new promotion. I got some details on that. Also, some injury updates to AEW, everything you need to know following Full Gear. Also, speaking of Full Gear and AEW, things were looking pretty damn good for AEW numbers wise, but also we have now found out that AEW going to TBS is large. It's part of a larger strategy here. And so we are going to talk about the major plans that they have. So let's kick things off first with Jonathan Gresham. If you guys don't know who he is, he's the former ROH Pure Champion. Also, a very, very big name in Ring of Honor. He definitely climbed the ranks of Ring of Honor, and he is, in fact, going to compete against Bandito at the end of the year at Final Battle for the ROH World Championship. Now, he has officially announced the new promotion, Terminus, which is a modern grappling wrestling promotion. And I am really excited about this. It is modern age grappling. This is something I think has definitely, it has its place in the history books. But also, I think there is so much great talent. We've seen what there is with Bloodsport, and so many of these different styles come together. And I think Jonathan Gresham is onto something very special here. I'm actually really excited to see what happens here too, because there was rumors that Jonathan Gresham would in fact be coming to AEW at some point. There was rumors that even Impact Wrestling was possibly interested, obviously due to his ties to Jordan Grace. Now, if Jonathan Gresham is in fact, if he's not signing with AEW, if he's not signing with Impact, he sticks around as an independent contractor for ROH. Obviously, he won't be signed to contracts because ROH is going away from them. But if he sticks around for ROH and his loyalty lies there, I would say there is a very good chance that he is going to end up winning the ROH World Championship against Bandito, which then I think leads to Bandito joining AEW at some point. We also know that Bandito was recently announced for Game Changer Wrestling, GCW. So, for those who are excited about a new promotion, we don't know anything in terms of distribution. So in terms of like pay-per-views, TV, stuff like that, I have a feeling this is going to be very similar to Bloodsport, special events every so often, and then hopefully they are broadcasted on some sort of platform. So personally, I think it would be great if it was on Fight TV, or I think obviously there's Honor Club, which ROH still has. So there is opportunity out there. Maybe this is something where Jonathan Gresham could kind of, and I'm just kind of throwing this out there, I'm spitballing this, but maybe he signs with Impact and then you have room for Impact Plus to then distribute this program. Very interesting stuff. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see what happens. I think Jonathan Gresham is a really talented wrestler, and I'm always in love with the idea of a new promotion, let alone one that is with an interesting concept. This is something that is definitely not a new concept, but it's something that I've been eager to see return to modern day wrestling. Okay, now we got to talk a little bit about some injury updates from AEW Full Gear. Eddie Kingston has, in fact, come out and said, look, he's not injured. He's not missing time. There were a lot of rumors, a lot of talk, a lot of speculation that Eddie Kingston was injured. And then, of course, this was followed up with reports that Kenny Omega actually worked Full Gear with a very hurt shoulder or something. And look, it sounds like that is accurate. It sounds like Kenny Omega actually was injured. And it sounds like Kenny Omega will actually be taking some time away from the show, which, believe it or not, I actually don't see this as a problem. I think Kenny Omega will definitely be missed. I think he's a great talent. I think there's a lot of great that comes from Kenny Omega being part of AEW. But AEW does have a very stacked roster. This is going to be a moment in time to see who's going to step up when the former champion steps away, just for a tiny period of time. The rumor is about 6 months. Obviously, I hope it's less. But, when you see something like Kenny Omega being injured, it sucks. It sucks, and it sucks for AEW. But again, they do have a stacked roster. Now, as far as Eddie Kingston goes, he's already confirmed that he's not actually hurt. So wherever those rumors came from, I'm not really sure. Good news is Eddie Kingston won't be missing any time. Now, with that being said, one thing that needs to actually be said here is when injuries happen in AEW, I think it's really important for people to realize that this roster is so good that whoever steps up, whoever starts creating some buzz, that is the person that deserves to get a push, because anytime injuries happen, it absolutely sucks. But the person that actually does something good from it, right? If there's anything good coming from an injury, it's the fact that there's opportunity out there that exists. And I think Kenny Omega would love nothing more than to see his brand and his company flourish. And I do expect that. Thankfully, AEW has done a great job that even with their top star being injured, I don't think it's actually going to hurt the product. Speaking of the product, Hangman Page obviously walked out of Full Gear as champion. Now AEW is making it very clear that Dynamite is in fact moving to TBS. We already know this. It's been announced several times. However, Tony Khan also did confirm that Dynamite will be potentially getting a new look for TBS. This is so AEW could differentiate the look between Dynamite and Rampage. I think this is a very solid move. And Tony Khan also did come out and say, look, if it sucks, if people don't like it, we could just always go back. So there's really no issue with this. Now, one of the things I really liked about Full Gear is the Full Gear set always looks great, right? The vertical screens, the two tunnels were slightly different. It wasn't the same tunnel that we're used to seeing. But it is being said that TNT, Warner are incredibly happy with AEW. Fans will always talk about viewership going up and down, and none of that stuff matters. You can find a lot of great people talk about this stuff. I've said it doesn't matter. Look, I think the best thing you guys should do in this situation is just understand that even with Rampage dropping or Dynamite dropping or going up and down, it fluctuates, right? The TV partners are happy, and therefore AEW has big plans. They have a very strong relationship with Warner Brothers. And I think that right there is a key reason as to why AEW on TBS actually might pan out to be a great move. And just so you guys know, I do fully expect at some point that those ratings might look kind of odd once AEW moves. I don't think it's fair to judge a TV show based on ratings in general, but I also don't think it's fair to judge a TV show on ratings, if you're moving a night, moving a channel, network, things like that. There's a lot that plays into it. What matters right now is, one, do you enjoy AEW? If you don't enjoy AEW, definitely not a problem. That's up to you. That's your choice. I don't really care what you enjoy. You enjoy what you enjoy, right? I'm not here to tell you what you should like, just like you can't tell me what I'm supposed to like. But number two, you got to also keep in mind, as long as you're happy with the product, that's all that matters. TNT, Warner Brothers are happy with the product. If they're not happy with the product no longer exists on the channel. It's not about the viewership. The good news is AEW putting the belt on Hangman Page was the right decision. He is going to be the front man for the company, and he's going to lead them into major success as they transition into TBS. I think this was a solid business move, a very good business move for AEW in the long term of things, and whoever takes that belt off of Hangman Page is clearly going to be a big deal. And yes, I am going to stand firm by this. I don't think it should be a former WWE superstar that holds that belt unless it's like Pac or Andrade or Malachi Black. I don't want to see Punk or Christian or Brian Danielson hold that belt. Whoever takes the belt from Hangman Page, we need to see the company keep progressing. And guys like Malachi Black, Andrade, like those two individuals, Pac, I feel like they've done a really good job in AEW thus far, creating a name for themselves. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Zango, and I'll see you next time right here on YouTube.